Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome to But Also, the Real Talk podcast for real life moments. And if this is your first time joining us, I'm your host, G Dazzle. Some of y'all know me as G Daz, but most of y'all just call me G, your girl, your sis, your friend who is out here to keep it real with ya. Now, this podcast is all about diving into life's little moments that don't always fit into a neat little box because life isn't always black and white. Here, we talk about the gray, so both sides of the coin, where two truths can exist, those yes and moments of life. Like, this is the last week of Black History Month, but also, I celebrate Black History 365, y'all. So here, we keep it light, we keep it real, and we keep it all the way honest. Now, you're gonna get some laughs, a couple of kikis, and maybe even a moment or two where you'll be like, dang, G, you just gonna read my life like that? Yes. Yes, I am. Because we're all living the same life, boo, and that's okay. So whether you're out here trying to figure it all out or just trying to make it through the day, I got you. So let's talk about the highs, the lows, and all the messy moments in between. All right, let's get into it. All right, y'all. Today's episode is special because we're closing out our Black History in the Making series. And we couldn't end it without talking about dance and its influence on the culture. So, joining me today is someone who lives and breathes movement, history, and expression. He is an art and cultural professional, a classically trained dancer, a Morehouse man, a founder of Love to Groove Movement School located in Omaha, Nebraska, and a proud member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity, Incorporated. So please join me in welcoming to the podcast, Aaron Gregory.
And you'll see this. I did almost all hand signs and symbols for everything that you highlighted.
I love it. You better represent. You bet. Let them know. Let them know. And y'all, look, now I'm going to try to, I told him before we started that I was going to be good, but I have known Mr. Gregory for years and had the pleasure of being alongside this young man in teenage years and watching him grow into the awesome, wonderful man that he is today. So y'all, I am fangirling on the end. I'm over here sitting here like a proud auntie. I promise y'all I am. But I'm so excited that he is here on the podcast today. So I told him I will try my best to be good and make no guarantees.
It's okay. It is all good.
Yes.
Glad to be here. Thank you. Celebrating Black History Month, celebrating us, celebrating dance. I'm happy to be here. I'm proud of you for bringing your light, your sparkle, your dazzleness out to the people because, you know, I feel like we all have a story. We all have things to say, and we all have people to say them to. And podcasting allows us to do that. So I'm excited to be a part of this experience. So yes.
I love it. I love it. Now, before we get into all things, let's talk about your roots. Like, when did your love of dance first begin? Like, were you out here just like breaking it down at the family function, doing a little jig here and there? Or did this passion develop a little bit later on in life? You got to tell the folks, where did it come from?
So my earliest memory of me dancing, I was 5 years old, and I don't know what, and this is going to be bad because not all like hip hop party dances, which the golden age of hip hop is the 90s. So they call those the 90s party dances. And a lot of those movements that came out back then, a lot of them do have names and some of them don't. So this one particularly, I don't know the name of it, but it's almost like when you're pointing and doing a body roll at the same time. And I remember doing that as a kid, like, mommy, watch me, like doing that going all the way back to the ground and coming back up. That's my earliest memory. But I would say, like, I've always have been moving and kind of just doing stuff here and there. But I didn't like fall in love with dance. The spark didn't really light my tail on fire until You Got Served, actually. Oh. Yeah, You Got Served came out, and I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it. And it's so funny because I'm going to backtrack a little bit here. I would say the first movie of dance that caught my eye And I didn't realize it until later in life because I used to watch that particular scene. I would literally rewind it on the tape and go watch that scene because it spoke to me so much. Spoke to my choreographer brain. Bring It On. At the end, when they had to make their piece from scratch because they bought that damn what is that called? The spear finger routine from Sparky Pilastri.
Yes.
And like, no, this isn't gonna work. We're gonna build our own routine. When they premiered that new routine, there's a part where they're doing with their hands. I was like, what is that? Oh my God, I love that. So I was like, okay. So dance has been present in my life, but what I really hooked on was You Got Served. That's when I knew that I loved it, that I loved doing it, and that I was good at it. So yeah, that's where it started. And then, yeah.
No, I love that because You Got Served. I mean, we're not even gonna hold you. Like the culture, we're here for it because I mean, anytime that movie comes on, like we got to do it. What was it? What was his name? Little Saint?
Like a
No,
little thing.
Little Saint. We got to do it for Little Saint. Like when it comes on, when breathe in, breathe out. Like if ain't nobody pumping my chest and my heart's not moving, like I have to, like
Yes.
you're about to get served. So I mean, being prepared for battle. Get ready. So that's
Yes.
solid. I'm here for it. Yeah.
Exactly. These kids, they don't know what battles are. They
Hmm.
think, no, their version of battles are different. I'm not going to say that they don't know. They just do different things these days. But back
Very
then,
true.
like, because even us, the way that we battled in the early 2000s was nowhere near how dance battles even started in the 70s and why they started. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
it's super cool to see how it continues to like transpire and grow and evolve over the years.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. See that now I feel like I gotta go watch the movie again and like I gotta go challenge somebody up. So
Right.
anybody, if y'all see me on the street, get prepared. Challenge.
Yep.
You're about to get served. So
Yeah. If her hair is in a ponytail, if it was
yes,
locked up in a
yes.
ponytail, she got big sweats on.
Come
She
on
coming.
now. Come on now. Like if I got my hood up. Like, look,
Oh
just know
yes.
it's about to go down. It's about to go down. Know that, please. So, Aaron, Morehouse man, classically trained, and now leading your own movement school. What was that journey like? Was there ever a moment where you thought, yes, this right here, this is my calling?
Um. So going to Morehouse, which was my dream school, I'm very proud to be a Morehouse man and very grateful and blessed that I was able to go and, you know, just live life and explore a brand new way of living. Like HBCU experience is none like it. There's
Come on
none like
now.
it at all.
You better
And
say it. Sorry, y'all. I had to get excited because HBCU proud myself, representing
yes,
the Lincoln University of Missouri. So just had to hype it up one time for the one time. But yes, come on now,
yes.
HBCU proud.
Listen, we just do things differently. And I went down there knowing like, okay, I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna be a business administration major, because I would like to open my own studio one day or something like that. And I remember my RD at the time was like, "You are not a business major." I'm like, "Yes, I am. How are you gonna tell me?" I fell asleep in economics every day, and he was like, "See, I told you that wasn't it." But he was right, right? I ended up switching to sociology because I did love people and the study of people. But I found out later, my junior year, that I could have been a dance major, but we didn't have a major at Morehouse, so we had to dance at Spelman. And even at Spelman, it wasn't a major; it was a concentration of the drama program. So it was really small. But when I attended a show, and the director of the program at the time had premiered this work called A Gone. Shout out to my dance mommy, T Lang. She presented this work called A Gone that was dedicated to her father who had passed away recently. And to see these beautiful Black bodies doing concert dance, contemporary, modern, jazz, ballet, to see them on stage dancing, doing beautiful, beautiful, artistic, fine art through movement. I felt like my soul was pure. Like I had danced, I had shaken it fast, I popped my butt, I did all that type of stuff, right? But to see this type of movement, I literally felt my soul being pulled to the stage. And I said, I want to do that. That's
Mm.
what I want to do. And I joined as a minor from the Spelman's dance program, and then that led me to getting my master's from NYU in dance education in 2013. Upon my time there, I went to the largest dance facility, one of the largest dance facilities, especially for Black dancers, the Joan Wheel Center, which is Alvin Ailey's dance school. And to go there and tour it, Alvin Ailey is the creator and founder of the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, founded in 1965. Even though he passed the year I was born, his legacy continues to live on. And to see Black bodies in that way, going to school for dance, looking the part, looking like they're like, oh, ballet was here. Ballet was for white people. No, these Black kids doing ballet, doing modern, doing West African, doing jazz, doing tap, doing hip hop, all the things. Like, I remember crying on that tour and be like, what can I do to be a part of this? And I got an internship like instantly. So like, all that to say, like, the journey led me to not only dance, but what could be done with dance, through teaching, through choreography, through owning a space and having a space for other people. And I think now that I say this, all of that led me. It was like God saying, yeah, this is your path, because now you're going to create what is now LTG and, Love to Groove. I remember I was going through a terrible time. I moved back to Atlanta after New York. So I was in Atlanta for 3 more years before I came home. And I was struggling bad. Like, I was house hopping, couch surfing. I was living out of a car at one point, showering at the gyms that I worked at. And I remember a job came through out of nowhere that I don't even remember applying for. And it was as my friend calls it, it was a muggle job. A muggle job is for those who are working outside of their passion, outside of their gifts. It's your those A to B jobs, those bread butter jobs. That's a muggle.
I call it to keep the lights on jobs.
Yes. So this muggle job came through, and they're like, do you remember applying for this? I was like, no. But I knew, because it was the third one, that I was going to turn down if I did turn it down. And God was like, sir. I said, okay. I said, I'm going to take it because I'm living out of a car. So it was the Atlanta Symphony. I was doing the very thing that I hated, y'all, asking people for money.
I feel you on that. Like, it just... that was a real gasp, a real deep sigh that I expressed for those that are listening. Like, I felt that in my spirit. Girl, I'm with you on that one, honey. I am.
I don't like asking people for $5 or $20. So having to ask them for solicitations for an organization was like, but I needed to do it. I needed this. So when that first check came through, this is how it all comes full circle. That first check came through. It felt like the Holy Spirit was literally pinching me. All I heard was, register your business, register your business, register your business, register your business. It was like the first fruit. And so in Georgia, my friend Jessie, who I was staying with at the time, she helped me register my business, Love to Groove Movement School, with that first check. And almost 7 years later, it'll be 7 years in November, here we are. I've made thousands so far of income, praise the Lord. I've taught probably over 100 classes. I've had a teachers lab program I'm building new teachers now. I've created the first emerging choreographer showcase for BIPOC artists in the city last year, Urban Expressions. I've been able to teach all over the world, and I've been able to work with the Omaha Symphony, Omaha Performing Arts, in just creating space for street styles to be taught well, even so much that I've shifted the direction of how we are making this accessible to everybody who wants to dance. Like, literally the motto this year is, this groove is for everybody. So it's amazing how, damn, I did all of that to be here, and this is where I'm at. And last year, by the grace of God, I won a grant, a $25,000 grant to help boost and help continue to further these roots. So yeah, that's the journey.
Oh my gosh, my heart is so full hearing you just come on now. Don't miss your shot. Don't tell me what God can do now. Don't tell me. And that is so inspirational. See, y'all, this is why I be fangirling over this young man, because I'm just so proud of him and just the perseverance that you've shown. And just even then, how you said, it's just like, you took the muggle job but it still allowed you and still led you to your journey, through your journey and to your passion. And God was able to instill all of those wonderful gifts within you to share that with the world, and look what you've done with them. So I am so proud of you. I am like, I'm up, like, I am cheesing hard. My face hurts from how hard I am cheesing, just with just admiration as well as just proudness. So, oh, round of applause to you, sir. That is amazing. And it's
Thank you.
also a great segue into my next question here, because you touched on a little bit, especially with your experience with Alvin Ailey. And, you know, as I think about it, dance has always been a major part of Black culture, right? From West
Yeah.
African traditions to hip hop,
Mhm.
and like you said, from Alvin Ailey, and even to these TikTok trends.
Mhm.
So, how do you see Black dance evolving while still staying connected to its roots?
It is so, I'm so glad you asked that question. I was able to attend a conference last month by an organization called the International Association of Blacks in Dance. And it was founded by five members, five Black women who all owned it. They all founded their own companies, and they brought this together to literally bridge the gap. I think the theme this year was the bridges we build from revolution to legacy. And through this organization, it kind of answers your question of like, how do we connect those dots? You have to, in order to go forward, you always have to know where you come from.
Come on now.
And like, I saw all styles of movement being offered, and like, it was like, oh, this is better than this is better than that. Like, no, you were able to take whatever you could and variations through. So you had West African. For us as Black people, that's where it starts. Like, West African dance is one of the most beautiful communal experiences, because yes, there's an advanced version of it, but the sole purpose of it is to tell stories, to celebrate, to commemorate, and to like pass on, you know what I'm saying, like the information from one generation to the next. And then when you get into jazz, which is super improvisational, I don't even know if that's the right word, but it's based on freestyle and improving and just going with the music. And that's how you have the Calloway brothers. Those are the guys who are jumping over each other doing the splits in their little penguin suits.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Talented
you,
group of brothers.
right. You have well, cakewalks, and then you got jazz, and then you have all the plethora of everything. I think if we continue to show our kids what you're creating is, there's some newness to it, but it comes from somewhere, and what's in you always is like, and I think that's what we have to understand. Like, what's in us, someone had to put that there, right? So, like, for example, there was like the WAP. I'm doing the WAP right now, and there have been dances that have come up. There are people like, oh yeah, that looks like the WAP. This is not the WAP. It's called this. No, it's called the WAP.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's what originally it was called, and now you're remaking it because you're just trying to, have that name. It's 3 points of understanding: where you are, where you came from, and where you're going.
Absolutely.
Like, with hip hop, the way that hip hop works when you're teaching it historically, we start in the Bronx. It's 1973. In the Bronx is where hip hop period started. And it started with breaking B-boys and B-girls. And then it evolved into street styles, popping, locking, whacking, voguing. Then you have your 90s party dances, and then crumping enters into the fray. And then you have the industry choreography type of, your Missy Elliott's, your Janet Jacksons, your Sierras, and then not to mention the regional dance styles. And then now current trends, right? Current trends today are TikTok dances. And those kids are being empowered. And most times it's like, okay, what are y'all doing? But it's being cemented in history, literally, right? Like,
Yeah.
if TikTok would have been done, that would have been a part of history. There was a time when we had TikTok dances. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
so being able to know where you come from, where you are, where you're going, and how you can take it further, I think that's how we continue to bridge the gap.
Oh my gosh. And you're so right. And especially as you talk about the TikTok, where it's just like, honey, these babies were out here creating whole 8/16 counts. And literally it became to the point where I felt like a lot of artists or musicians were creating music for the
Or
purpose
TikTok
of
dances.
something that was
Yeah.
TikTok worthy, that it could be like, I could think of so many songs where it's just like, I only know that segment, that small little fragment of the song because of the
Literally.
dance that was associated with it. And so it's just like, honey, you speaking nothing but truth and facts about that. And even speaking about the evolution, even as we talk about TikTok, social media has changed the way that we experience and share dance.
Yeah.
And would you say, do you think that it's helped or hurt the art form?
I don't necessarily say that it's hurt it.
Okay.
I think it's what's the word I want to use? It's impacted it,
Okay.
but both ways, both positively and negatively. The impact positively has been, it has been a great tool for dancers, choreographers, teachers to get out information, because every kid at this point has a phone. So how can we, get this to you if you don't have access to Word, or you don't have a laptop or something like that? Oh, I could put class on. When we were in the pandemic, I was teaching through social media. I was teaching through Instagram, like Instagram Live, totally, and Facebook sometimes. Like, yeah, but like that is a thing. I would say that's one way. Another way, choreographers are always saying when they're looking for new dancers, or artists looking for dancers that have pages on Instagram, they're looking at your Instagram. They're looking at what are your top 3 posts. Is it your best dance work, or is it you just playing around with your pet dog? Like, this is, it's helping people get work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? DMs like that, like that's a positive impact. I think the negative impact is dancers, choreographers, teachers are doing it for likes. They're doing it for validation and approval. They're not realizing, like, oh, I put this dance up. Even like one of my artists recently had talked about that. Like, man, I put something up and I didn't get a bunch of likes. And it's like, it's not about that. It's about creating work. It's building the muscle of creating work. Posting, I've done like a 30-day groove challenge. I didn't complete it, but neither here nor there. Like where I was posting every day just to say I'm practicing my art form of dancing. Whether I was dancing for 20 minutes, 10 minutes, but then I'm like, okay, am I doing this for the pose, or am I literally doing this for myself? And I'm capturing. So I got caught in the wind of that. It was like, okay, I need to, because I hadn't danced in so long, because I went through a depression. I was like, no, I need to get my body up and moving. But instead of just like, okay, I'm gonna dance for an hour and then post the last 10 minutes, I would only dance just for that little segment to go online. And I'm like, okay, now I'm like, dang, I got to do that again and do it right this time. Social media is a privilege. Like, people don't have to, one, they don't have to like your stuff. Two, they don't have to watch your stuff. So putting your stuff on there and hope that people will like it and follow it, when you can create that work for an audience that wants to see you. So that's how it's like, it's good and it's bad. So it all depends where you are as a person, as an artist, no matter what age. Like, what do you want? If you want the validation, if you want the views, if you want to go viral, set yourself up, do all of that. If you want to just share your art, share it and turn the comments off. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have those features now. So, yeah.
No, that's facts. And even with social media, I mean, sometimes social media can be a beast, especially, even if you think about it from a content creator standpoint, whatever, regardless of the nature of the content that you're creating. But like you said, for using your challenge as an example, I mean, that's work. It's just like doing it and then setting up the angles and then editing it and then posting it. And if you're doing it on multiple platforms and making sure you're saying the right hooks or captions or whatever like that to capture the attention, because you do want to share what you're doing. And, the hope is that you're reaching as many people as possible to at least get the eyes on it. Cause it's just like, hey, I'm not doing this for nothing. But I think also what you said in terms of remembering the reason of why you're doing it. Is it strictly for like just for the likes, or is it no, I want to make sure it's just like I'm doing this for me because I want to make an impact and touch this life in this way, or at least show them, anything on social media, especially when you are letting someone into your world. I feel like that's also like a glimpse of a testimony where it's just like I'm sharing my story with you. And a lot of the times it's like people may not always have the opportunity to say it. You have a couple of thumb thug warriors out there every now and again with comments. Yes, little thumb thugs out there. But then you have those that are watching where it's just like no matter what they're going through, if they're going through their own cloudy moment, they see you and it's just like, okay, that was a bright spot. That made me smile. That was my silver lining for the day. Or, through their own resilience, I saw how they were able to make it through. So it gave me the motivation to do that. So, I definitely feel you on that. And you talked about this a little bit in terms of even with your students and all of the awesome, amazing things that you have done so far in the classes and whatnot that you've taught. Like, you're not just a dancer. Like, you're not just a dancer out here. You are literally a cultural leader and educator. So with thinking about that, how do you balance preserving the tradition of dance while making it accessible and exciting for the next generation?
Oh, that is a wonderful question.
I'm
Yeah,
coming with them.
whoa.
I'm coming with them.
I remember in grad school, they always told us, do not stop dancing, because next to these books, next to the materials, like, you are literally the example that your students are going to model after. So, like, if you want them to perform, you got to perform. You got to, you have to stay upstate. You have to, like, it's one of the art forms where you have to know what's happening. I mean, I feel like with any subject in school, you should know what's happening relevantly, but like ballet ain't shifting that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, whereas culture, or these street styles are, so you got to stay in the streets as well as knowing what's happening. For me, how I do it now is, like, I love being able to, I love teaching. Teaching is, I say, I will do that until my dying breath. I don't know if I'll perform until my dying breath, but I will always teach, because that's something that I can pass down. And while I do not have children of my own, I have lots of dance babies around the world that I'm grateful for, that they've learned something from me. And it's like, man, it's still wild to say that, but it's the truth. So I preserve it by I teach them through my experiences. Like you mentioned testimonies earlier, like, this is what I've gone through. I would prefer you not to go through that same thing, but this is what I went through when I had to go through it, or this is what I love. Like, things that I will say that I am expert at teaching at, definitely house dance, stepping, because I stepped in college. I wasn't Greek yet, but at a HBCU, everybody steps, especially in the South. So,
True.
I was a part of a Christian step team. I was a captain, and stepping, like, that's something I could do in my sleep. You know what I'm saying? So it's like those things, being able to pass those things on and see how people pick them up. Dance is another one of those oral tradition things that people can take and pass on, and whether you create something new or not, you know what I'm saying, it's transferable. So, like, that's the teaching side. Now, where I don't do the best at is the performance side. And I know I started with that whole performance quote. I am not performing as much as I probably could be, because I know right now we're talking about, my business and dance, but my big boy job is also kind of bleeds into my time outside of the 9 to 5 schedule. So I don't have a lot of time to, and I'm at the age now where I'm like, I'm not trying to be out here doing every single thing under the sun. I like to be at home. You know what I'm saying? I like to chill and have fun and live. They said art imitates life. I like to live, but performing is something I would like to do a little bit more of, because it feels good. Like, I'm in that space now where I'm watching people dance together on social, and I'm feeling like a little FOMO. Like, I want to. I don't want to teach. I want to just dance. I want, like, I'm still teaching, but I'm just like, there are moments where I want to dance with people, like doing choreography with people, but also going to a club and just shaking it out, sweating it out, and then going home. Right? You know what I'm saying? So to move is that, to make sure that I'm moving as much as I'm teaching, as much as I'm curating, doing the back end of the business stuff. I've been doing a lot of that, you know what I'm saying, which I enjoy, but it's easy to allow that to consume my time on the business side. So it's not an easy balance, but because I rather be doing balancing of something that I love and that I was born to do and that I was purposed to do, than to be doing this with a muggle job because I didn't try hard enough, or, you know what I'm saying, or something. And let's be clear, I'm not saying that people who have these muggle jobs didn't try enough. No, you just haven't found your thing yet. You know what I'm saying? But knowing like it was by grace that I found my thing at 16. You know what I'm saying? So, I just it's a work in progress. Long story short.
No, and ain't nothing wrong with it. And something that you said even about, where you're at that point in your life where it's just like, I'm okay being at home. Like there is absolutely nothing wrong with enjoying the place where you pay rent and all its amenities. It's just like as much as I pay for it, I want to enjoy the fruits of those labors. But
Okay.
also, every now and then I like to back it up for the 99 and 2000s because it's in my spirit. And dancing is just one of those things that I think it physically feels good, and just the release of endorphins that come along with it.
Come
Just
on, release
it
the
is
endorphin.
right.
Yes,
It's just
release the
something that
endorphin.
naturally is just like a pick me up. Like it's very rare if you're just doing like a little freestyle dance or just moving or just
Mhm.
because it feels good that afterwards you're just like, oh man, I hated that. Or
Right,
that was
right,
just
right.
terrible. I feel so much worse now that I done danced it out and dropped it low and dipped it up and picked it up slow. Like, it's very rare that you do that. So just having those moments where it's like, you know what, sometimes I just gotta let my hair down and just dance. Or one of my favorite sayings is dance like nobody is watching, right? Where it's
Mhm.
just like having that free form of expression and just getting it out. And sometimes, with even as we go through various life situations and circumstances, sometimes you just got to dance it out. You do. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that because, listen, we know dance, it's more than just a movement. And you touched on this a little bit before. It's storytelling. You touched on the tradition, it's resistance, and really it really is history in motion.
Mhm.
And so with that, I ask, have you ever had any moments in your career where you felt like you were carrying the culture forward?
Actually, yeah. It's oh
Okay.
my gosh, I didn't think about this. Wow.
Okay, well let's
Um,
talk about it.
I think there probably are more moments that I just haven't really thought through. But like so two that come to mind. The
Okay.
recent one that I mentioned um was the show that I created last year, Urban Expressions Volume 1, which was an emerging choreographer showcase featuring BIPOC performers here in the city. Adults, like there's a lot of stuff for kids in Omaha, but adults, there's not enough for dance for adults, whether
Not.
recreational or professional. So I wanted to create this opportunity to create more artists and teachers and choreographers to kind of give them the platform to share their work. Emerging, you're not coming in to see a finished, polished, complete product. You know what I'm saying? Like you're coming in to see works in progress, the beginning of people's journeys. And I think creating that opportunity for the young adults, I think the oldest choreographer was 37 and the youngest was 19, like giving them that space saying, yes, you could do this too. It's not just for, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is not just for a kid. You don't have to stop dancing just because you're no longer in that studio. Like, no, like this is, and also they all have their own stories to tell. We had a burlesque choreographer, and she had that was probably the highlight of the whole show. All of those, she had nine dancers, and they all had their own little segment, and it was all their first time ever doing burlesque. There was a heels performance. There was like popping and waving, like Bay Area hip hop. There was a majorette hip hop fusion. And then there was like contemporary, which was like a fusion of hip hop and modern dance. And then I created a piece on the choreographers. That's how we opened the show. And like, it was literally me presenting them to the city. This is your next class of emerging talent. This is who you need to follow. This is who you need to keep up with. And they're all in their own journeys, teaching classes, creating shows, like, and that's what the whole purpose of this thing was. Like, and even before that, we had sessions where we talked about artistry, creating work, um, like we did a photo shoot. Like it was these type of things. Like this is what happens on a regular in these bigger cities. But here, I'm like, no, I wanted to give y'all as much of this experience. I brought in some of my friends who are in the industry from, virtually to talk to them about like, okay, what are y'all doing? What's going on? Like, so that was great. And like pushing us, and I know this is Black. This is a whole Black podcast, Black History Month. And I say because we had people, even though they love hip hop, that one person is not Black. He's like half Native, half Filipino, or something like that.
That's
but
like
still,
people of color, period.
exactly right.
Yeah.
People of color, like there's nothing, no one else had taken the plight to do that for us. It always had to be whiteness, had to be attached to it some way, shape, or form. And like, no, to be able to do this like that, no, this is we need this because we can have this. So that was one way. And I think the other thing that made me think about it was during the George Floyd riots. I was afraid, to be very honest, I was afraid to go outside. During the pandemic, I had severe asthma, which I mean, I technically it's moderate. I still do, but I just didn't feel like it was going to be safe. And we didn't know how bad what was going to be had I caught COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was afraid to be out, but I know it was a worthy cause. So what I did was I hosted classes. I hosted some like Zoom classes for everyone around the world to come in. And I just turned on Optimistic by Sounds of Blackness and other, you know what I'm saying, other positive, uplifting songs. And we just danced it out, like you said. And it's like dancing in joy is resistance as well. And, you know, I think there's actually some photos or videos of people like crump dancers crumping in front of like the police. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that as their means of expression, like they weren't hitting them or anything like that. Like this is us expressing our pain, our anger. That's what it is too. Like dance isn't always just joy and fun and ratchetness and sorrow or, you know, all good is bad too.
Absolutely.
It's pain. It is sorrow. It's hunger. It's desperation. It's whatever emotion you can think of, you can dance it.
Yeah.
And Black bodies have been dancing these emotions since the beginning of time. So to be able to present that diaspora of movement in our city on a regular basis, that is like my ultimate goal, because it's not seen here enough. And people don't know that this is possible.
No, I love that. And thank you so much for sharing that. And even more so, kudos to you for creating the space for it. Like you mentioned, in the city, it's not necessarily something where that space and opportunity is available. And I love the fact that it had such a strong focus with the BIPOC community. And I also love the fact that it seemed like it was ageless, because sometimes I do feel like there's a stereotype or maybe even a stigma, like, oh, for someone, you know, who is in their 30s or 40s or 50s, where it's just like, oh, you're too old to be dancing, or, you know, you're past your prime. And I just feel like it's something that is ageless. Like, how did they say, like in Dirty Dancing, don't put baby in a corner. Don't you tell me when, like, don't you tell me when, like, my time is to stop dancing, especially if dancing and movement is something that is within you. And like you said, that is your form of expression, whether you are happy, sad, grieving, however you feel to emote through your body. If movement is that thing, how dare you tell me that I can't do it? So thank you for creating, I'll even call it even furthermore, step past that, a safe space for those to feel comfortable to do so and know that they have somewhere and a place to do it and that they are supported in that. And just highlighting that in general. So round of applause. Kudos to you. Golden Slipper goes to you for that.
Golden Slipper, yeah.
I just made that up. But Golden Slipper goes to you for that, for creating that space and just recognizing that. And even more, you know, like I said, the theme of the series here, like I said, history in the making. And since we are talking about that history in the making, you know, this is another segue, because I got segues. And as we think about it, because you are creating history, like these are the moments where it's just like you may not even realize it in the moment. It's something that you can look back on and flip the pages of your own history book of like, man, like look what I did. Look at the space that I created. Look at the opportunities that I provided. So that's why we have to highlight the history happening now in the making. And as we think about that, who would you say are some of the dancers or choreographers or even just cultural leaders in general that have inspired you?
Drops the full list. No, as I mentioned before, Alvin Ailey, for sure.
Yeah.
One of his main statements as a choreographer and educator was, there's two of them. Dance should be accessible to the people, and we all have nothing to prove but something to share.
Mm,
Um,
powerful one. That's a good one.
yeah, that one that he resonates with me so much. Another person is Ronald K. Brown. His company is called Evidence, and I actually got to see him again in person. I took his classes in Brooklyn when I lived there, but I got to see him at the conference, and it had been years, and he remembered me, and I didn't realize that he was still keeping up with me on Facebook, and I was weeping in the hotel afterwards, like, oh my gosh, like this little black boy from Nebraska, to be able to say I've met people who have done works or things that I dream of doing, and they're still out here making an impact, and I'm on my path doing it in a way. And of course, I remember, your mom, shout out to Mom Crowder, told us a long time ago as RAs, like, you'll never know the impact that you have on people until much later. And I can't, you can't quantify impact. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to happen, but I know just the people who still continue to rock with me that, it's happening. Other people who inspire me, just quickly, definitely Sean Bankhead. He's a dope. He's probably one of the leading hip hop choreographers out right now. He's worked with Flo, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B. He definitely did Up, If It's Up, If It's Up, It Is Stuck. Like, that's him. Trying to think, there's another. Normani, and that video that she dropped, Wild Side. Like, oof, he's done some. Missy Elliott, yeah, he's done some amazing work.
Heavy hitter out here.
No, like legit. And what makes it even more inspiring is that, like, technically he's my peer because we're the same age, but it's just like I always thought he was older than me, and I was like, wait, what? You're only like 2 months older than me. Like, this is crazy. But also showing, like, look, you could be out here doing this work, the work that you want to do in your own way, right?
Absolutely.
And I would say, like, the community people here, I have a lot of, like, teachers who I look up to. A lot of educators, my peers that are just out here just trying to get the work done. So I thank God that I have people to look to as well. And of course, I mean, without being cliche, like, definitely, like, Jesus.
Amen.
Like he walked in paths no one else did.
Yeah.
He was accomplished on his mission. He was about his father's business. He was open to all people, even if, you know what I'm saying, like, he made room for everybody. They say, he sat with those who were supposed to be unsatable. I just made up that word. But he's saying, like, he, like, he did. Like, that he, is just who he is. So I definitely give him glory and give him honor, and because it's that power, that resurrection power, that love that he had for the world to give up his life. Like, that is at the root of what Love the Groove is. Like, one of our core values is love. Like, not the puppy love is patient, love is kind, love is, we don't hold records wrong. We don't boast, but we always support, we always hope, we always love, we always love. We love. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is at the root of Love to Groove. And I always have an affirmation at the end of all of my classes for all of my students. I am beautiful. I am free. I am loved unconditionally. I am strong. I can do anything. I am blessed, and I am a masterpiece. Those are all scriptures. So I make sure that my students know that they are loved ultimately. And that's, so I just want to make that plug right there.
Come on, like, now. Let the church say. Let the church say, because I'm going to throw my shoe at you in a second. I was like, you can take it to church real quickly.
Right.
Come on, Reverend Gregory. Come on now.
Oh, Lord.
But no, that's facts, and that's beautiful. And I love every aspect of that, because God is love. And the fact that that is something that is one of the values of the movement that you have, and just everything that you pour into, that says so much about it. And, I can't thank you enough for sharing that. So no, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So, like I said, thank you so much for giving your flowers to those that you just listed, but also that's why I had to make sure that you got your golden slipper too. I had to make sure you got it.
Thank you.
You're impacting lives out here. So, okay. So if you're familiar with the show, towards the end, I always do like a little rapid fire little session, a little quick little game of this and that. And we're going to do that. We're going to do the dance edition. Are you ready?
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
All right. You have to choose one. You have to. All right. So here it goes. Ballet or hip hop?
Hip hop.
Okay. All right. Classic Soul Train line or TikTok dance?
Ooh, Soul Try line.
Not the.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Here's one. Performing on stage or choreographing behind the scenes?
Oh no! How dare you?
No.
Oh, I can hear the subliminal timer. Oh my gosh! Damn!
It's the angst
Oh,
for me. The angst is taking me
right. It's
out,
the
y'all.
AIDS. You know, I'm gonna say perform,
You sound so excited. When you
but because I'm still wrestling in my head about it. That's
yeah.
why.
Yeah, I was just like, performing today, but tomorrow choreography. I don't know.
Hey. Like I can,
It be
because
like that sometimes. I mean, it's like the internal struggle. Like, so in this moment, at this second, we're gonna say performing on stage.
yes.
Okay, okay, all right. So we got another one. The electric slide or swag surf.
Swag surf. Like, do you know that whenever there's an
I
event
mean,
and swag surf is around, that people are looking for me because I always jump to the front and lead it?
not you jump
And I always,
into the swag. Okay, and we
because
surf.
I make sure they do it correctly.
Yeah.
Because Omaha. Listen, yes, we got blackness here, but the blackness sometimes needs some more seasoning. So it's a little bland. The Great Plains is really plain sometimes. Like y'all, we need some more seasoning.
I'm not playing
Just
with you.
a little
I'm
bit.
not playing with you on these plays. But facts. And honestly, just kind of pulling on our HBCU tides. Like, if I don't hear it at least during a homecoming or something like that, like, is it really a HBCU event? Or just like, if we ain't swag surfing just a little bit, at least at a wedding, a reception, something, anytime when two or more are gathered.
Yes, we shall flag.
I just got to make sure that we are surfing in the swaggiest of ways. So just got to make sure that we are
Yes.
still swagging and surfing. And so with that in mind, I got a bonus one for you.
Okay.
The wobble or Tamia slide.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm gonna go with Tamia because it took me a second to learn it. But then also, like, I love it. I think it's really cool. It's cool, especially like when you're just with other people and you just like something about dancing in unison, dancing in groups, which is probably why I alluded to performing more than choreographing. Dancing in groups is something so powerful in it.
It is.
Like, so the wobble, I know like probably 6 versions, you know what I'm saying, of the wobble, and then I make my own. So that's probably the 7th. So it's like while I'm doing it, but no, the Tamia slide is that one is, yeah.
See, and now I'm a little salty because now I consider myself someone who has a little, I got a little rhythm to me. I can do a little 1-2 step from time to time. I love to dance. However, she, who is me, has not mastered to me a slide. So I be feeling like I have a whole bunch of FOMO anytime it comes on. Now I could perpetrate real strong. I can give you the first little 1-2 bop, a little up down. And after that, crisscross, turn, lock, spin, go. You lost me. You lost me.
Consider doing it
So,
much.
so yeah, after that, I was just like, I haven't mastered it just yet. So anybody that I know that I see them do, I was like, hey, meet me in the corner. We're gonna have a private lesson for the Tamia slide so I can be prepared for the
Yeah,
cookout when it comes on and I'm ready. Because right now I'm not ready. So you got to get me
right,
ready. You got to get me ready. Matter of fact,
right.
yep, that's your challenge. You're gonna get me Tamia slide ready
Yes, ma'am.
before the
Yes,
end of History Month is out, because I got to be cookout prepared. So
yes.
y'all gonna have the cousins talking about me or looking at me like, she ain't got the slide. But I feel like those who know it, y'all be looking at us like, they ain't got it. It's like a special club, a society. I feel like
Mhm.
of Samia sliders. I don't know if sis knew what was happening when her song came on, and we decided to do a nice little 1-2 step to it. So
Said, we just go. Me and my husband, we would just try to dance.
yeah. Yeah, that's what's like. Now I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna hit you with a 1-2 groove. Now I may not have the slide, but you still gonna get some moves. That's for sure.
Yeah,
You still gonna get a nice little bop,
yeah.
1-2. So it's all good. So Aaron, all right. Before we go, tell
Yes.
the people where they can find you, follow you, and keep up with your groovy journey.
Yes. So you guys can follow the groove. If you want to follow particularly just the dance business, LTG Movement School on Instagram, Love the Groove Movement School on Facebook. And on Instagram, we do have a website in the link where you can go and book your classes. Again, our classes are for everybody, adults right now. So we have varied classes. We have a heels class. We have Groove 101 with me for those who want to just learn how to dance, come through. And then starting tomorrow, per crazy impervious requests, and I've been harassed, the twerk out returns tomorrow.
Okay. Cause
So
look, now I'm gonna have to sign up for that one because these ain't Megan knees. They don't. I got to take them off the shelf, dust them off. So I
yeah,
may need to go to that one and give these show y'all how these knees used to move for the
yes,
99
yeah.
and 2000s.
Yeah, the twerk out is a very fun fitness. It is fitness based because it is a workout, which hence the name twerk out, right? But I center it around twerking. Twerking is celebratory. I try to take the sexualization out of it and just allow us to just have a good time while shaking ass. So that class is there. We have popping.
That's simple.
We have more. So if you want to follow me, Aaron the person, Aaron Darrell Grooves on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook, Aaron Darrell Gregory. And yeah, and it just I'm on TikTok as well. I think it's just ADG on TikTok. But as per my partner the other day, I was like, I want to create something where I'm like talking. I want to talk more. He's like, you want to talk more? And I was like, you just played me, sir.
Like
Like
with a capital
what?
M on the more. Now wait a
Right.
minute. Now
Yes,
wait a
I
damn
got
minute.
something to say. I want something to say. So I be on there talking. I be trying to encourage people on Wednesdays. I call it Wednesday Encouragements. You know what I'm saying? So something sweet and encouraging for the people. But yeah, definitely. So TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I do have a YouTube channel as well. Love the Groove Movement School. So follow the groove. Thank you all so much. And hit me up with any questions you have. And G Dazzle, I'm doing sparkle hand motion.
Yes.
So I wish I could just press it and then like sparkles. That's what effect you need. Press it,
Yes.
then whole sparkles are just everywhere.
I love
Thank
it.
you so much for having me. I love being able to do this and share. Your questions were epic. So
Oh,
thank you.
thank you for coming and kicking it with me. And y'all heard it here. This was a Bud Also exclusive of the new class, the twerk out. So remember where you heard it here first. So please rush to wherever you need to rush to sign up, fill these classes up because I guarantee you don't want to miss these sessions. This is not a session you want to miss. So get ready. So with that, I say, all right, y'all. That has been a wrap on today's episode of But Also, the Real Talk podcast for real life moments. And if you feeling what you heard, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. We are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, as well as YouTube, so you never miss an episode. And hey, while you're at it, make sure to share it with the cousins, share it with your friends, and share it with those who you know and feel will get a kick out of this episode. And don't forget to follow me, your girl, on Instagram and on TikTok at @ButAlso_podcast for more real talk, behind the scene moments, and all of the vibes in between. So with that, I say thanks for kicking it with me. And until next time, keep on keeping on, keep thriving and surviving and embracing all of your moments, the good, the messy, and everything in between. I'll holla.